My name is Alex, and I'm part of the AI expert team here at Evora. Our job isn't just to build AI, but to provide the governed foundation that makes AI trustworthy for our entire company. To understand how we solve complex problems, we first have to take a look at how we organize our intelligence. Or to take it one step further back, how we organize our data. Because the challenge most companies deal with is not the lack of data, it's that data is spread across multiple systems. We got our bill of material in Team Center, our work orders in our manufacturing execution system, supply and inventory data, all living in separate data silos. The question we're answering here today is how do you connect that data, apply intelligence, and turn it into immediate action across the entire enterprise? At Evora, we've broken those walls down using our institutional knowledge graph. Think of it as a digital brain that doesn't just store data points, it provides the info that connects our data across domains to understand the relationships between the different systems. So your data stays securely in its source system, whether that's Team Center, Ops Center, or a data warehouse like Snowflake. And our ontology lives in memory on top of it. In our case, we were able to use some of the out-of-the-box pre-built ontologies for our Siemens systems. This gives us the ability to see the big picture across the entire enterprise without the risk, cost, or security headaches of migrating massive amounts of data. Because our data is now connected in a single institutional knowledge graph layer, we aren't just looking at a spreadsheet. We are looking at the full story, a dynamic map of our entire digital footprint. We can now track who reported an issue, which specific supplier batch the affected part came from, the exact factory conditions the moment it was assembled, and even what replacement options are available in our current inventory. But it gets even better. We can provide our AI agents with the context from our knowledge graph, so our AI agents no longer have to guess because they have now a factual map to follow. Equipped with a full view, an AI agent can now trace a failure's impact from a single customer claim to the entire global supply chain in seconds instead of humans manually pivoting between disconnected systems. To give you an example of such an agent, at Evora we developed a root cause analysis agent built in RapidMiner AI Cloud. This agent is set up to search for common patterns and anomalies in incoming customer claims. Our root cause analysis agent doesn't just guess. It has a set of multiple tools that allow it to perform a multi-dimensional investigation using our knowledge graph to understand the relationship between our different systems and gather all the data it needs. So, for example, it can check if all parts mentioned in similar claims were all assembled at the same machine or during the same shift. Or it can cross-reference the engineering definitions to see if we are hitting the edge of our part tolerances. And then once an investigation is completed by the agent, it will then go ahead and automatically push this task into one of our Evora Mendix applications so a human can verify the agent's findings before we trigger any further actions. Here I have an example of an investigation task the agent created inside our Mendix app. We can see the task is about a reoccurring O-ring failure for one of our crane trucks. We can see a summary of the agent's findings together with the resolution workflow steps the agent suggested. On top of it, we can validate the hypothesis it checked and inspect the potential blast radius of this issue. Using a conversational agent built in Mendix, I can now ask a follow-up question in natural language, again leveraging the power of our digital brain, our ontology. Which of our approved suppliers can provide the 50mm variant in the required volume for a 48-hour production restart? The agent discovers the structure of our data landscape, finds the relevant data set, constructs its queries, executes them to come back with a well-structured response. That way we can keep a human in the loop but remove the manual data stitching. I can validate the agent's findings, contribute my own thoughts, and in the end approve or reject the task. Once we approve the task because we think this indeed might be a bigger issue we should take care of, we have a workflow designed in Mendix to orchestrate all follow-up tasks between our hybrid workflows to stay in full control of the process. You could think of Mendix workflow as the operational nervous system of our enterprise. While the graph provides the brain, Mendix and agents provide the muscles to execute, and our workflow connects the two. It is a low-code orchestration engine that allows us to build complex automated processes that span across all those separate systems we just discussed. So instead of manually sending emails, creating engineering change requests, or updating 5 different databases, Mendix acts as the orchestrator to automate those tasks. We can define exactly which task needs to happen next, which system needs to be updated, and where we can leverage AI agents, and most importantly, which human needs to give the green light. Once we initiate the resolution workflow, Mendix could then go ahead and pass the task to our engineering agent to create a problem report for us in Teamcenter using the findings we gathered. Or later in the process to a different agent to draft a new work instruction for our redefined bill of process. That way, we are handing over the task to our agents while making sure humans are kept in charge at all times, keeping the right balance between automation and control. And for each triggered process, we can see what the agent outcome was, what actions were executed, and where we currently are in our process, and what our process bottlenecks are. That gives us the governance, traceability, and confidence to scale AI in real operations. So what you've seen here today is the architectural foundation. We have our connected context in our knowledge graph. You've seen AI reasoning grounded in that context, and human AI orchestration through Mendix workflows.